Hello guys, and welcome to a new Star Division 2 video today by me, Vulcan. In this one I have for you a 10 versus 10 on Shchedrin, and I'm going to be playing with the 17th SS Panzer Grenadier with the balanced deployment type. This is a map that I actually really enjoy playing on 10v10, and this was a pretty fun game that really shows a focus on what happens if you play on the left hand side here. This fight over the hill, it is literally a king of the hill scenario. If you control the hill, then you have a lot of dominance over this side of the map, including the flags even further back on each side. So I'm going to be playing with the 17th and trying to make it work in this one. Panzerschrecks are leading the charge. We're going to be backed up by Grim Guys SPW-2A4s, which are going to be cresting the ridge and engaging the enemy M8s and the Daimlers. There's a couple of M2A1 half-tracks there. I've got a bunch of Panzergrens. I've also got Volksdeutsche. And on the right-hand side, we've got some SS Legionary that are going to be trying to move through the light cover and use their strong SMGs, the Beretta, as well as the Molotovs, to win those engagements. Pack 40, meanwhile, going to be towed over to the left hand side, and this is going to be put in a position where I can shoot into the side armor of any armor that crests the ridge whilst we continue to engage from the front. We do have Sidelisis here, who's going to be moving up with his Tiger and the Shchedrin 3, which is certainly going to help us out, but we're going to be coming under some pretty intense off map from the start of the game. So all this infantry is getting pinned down and will likely have to fall back, but the legionaries on the right hand side, they're fanatical, they don't care, they're just continuing to move forwards. They also didn't get hit by the off map at all, so that was nice. We're going to be bumping into Group Shchedrin, which got pinned down by Sidelisis and his 81 mil. My 81 meanwhile is going to be engaging the light cover here, and the reason that I have the 81 at the start is because I also brought in an IG-33 with a multi-munition, and that multi-munition, after it's dropped off the IG-33, can come back and give its supply to the mortar. So I'm going to be trying to use that mortar quite liberally throughout this game in order to help support the push up onto this hill, but you can see that it has already been a pretty bloody affair, as the off-map has done a lot of damage to the infantry that are trying to push up here, and they've now brought in reinforcements. So rifles going to be pushing back against us. A lot of Sidelisis and his infantry have gone down. We've got the SPW-204s all being killed off, so things are a little bit on the edge right now. There's a good opportunity for them to take control of the top of the hill. Stoke 4 is on the way for myself. Volksdeutsche trying to get back up into position. Because they were disheartened, they basically fall back regardless. When they're fully pinned down, they will just keep falling back. And in some cases that can be a good thing, and in this case you can see that it did maintain the numbers of troops. So the Volksdeutsche are actually pretty high on men, even though they came under attack by multiple off-map there. Anyway, Aufklärer with the 222 coming in, Panzer Grenadier as well. The 222, really strong 20mm armoured car. That's the main reason that I'm bringing it, not for the Aufklärer. Aufklärer is just like a spare. But Pack 40 going to be moving up on the left to try and kill off the Cromwell 4 here at close range. The Cromwell 4 microed back nice and quickly by my opponent. IG-33 now creeping up on the left hand side. Pack 40 on the left for me. I'm going to have to fall back as the 76mm infantry gun engages it. But Spivero going to be coming in, tries to get the bombs off. As we can see, there is a lot of AA behind the hill, and that bomber really not having a good time. Zis2 is going to go down meanwhile to all of the machine guns. Volksdeutsche with their double MG42s actually able to put down a decent amount of DPS, especially against support weapons. Now I'm trying to get my IG to engage the 76mm, but it's getting caught out by gun depression issues there. If your unit ever moves up a ridge and can't fire, it's usually because of gun depression. So what you need to do is just push it like a little bit extra over the ridge, and then it should normally be fine. Panzergrens, more Panzergrens coming in. 81mm mortar, trying to help out as best as it can. Got to wait for the mortier to come back. This mortier is very slow off-road, so the 81mm mortar is waiting a little while there to get a reload. Meanwhile, since the Cromwell got dealt with, the 222 is free to move up on this left-hand side and help engage 76, so that should allow us to kill that off. And job done. So, they've retreated off the hill, and it's going to allow us to move up my Panzergrens to the edge here. You see it's a kind of a bloodbath at the top of this crossroad. 2 M8s there, the Daimler and the BA-10M. The rifles were kind of pinned down and retreated, I believe, but that has allowed us to get the Panzergrens to the edge of the hill now. And you can see we've picked off one of the 25mm AA pieces, which is nice, for sure. Churchill 5 did move up to help deal with some of the infantry, but ends up getting taken out by the Marder 3s and the Stug 4. Now Panzergrens may be moving a little bit too far forwards as another Churchill 5 joins the fray, and the M4A1. Nice thing about the Stug though, it has 100mm of frontal armour. Should be able to shrug off the M4A1. In this case, it stopped firing because the Churchill caused a fire underneath it with a HE round. There's a chance that when a HE round explodes that it kind of sets the floor alight, and tanks don't like sitting on flames, surprisingly enough. So the Stug had to move and it stopped it from firing. We also then got driver knocked out and the gun couldn't get on target, so it was a couple of unfortunate events there, but we eventually kill off the M4, follow up with a kill onto the Churchill 5, Stug 4 holding its ground nicely. Now, Stug 3 trying to engage the Zis 2, Marder 3 also trying to do the same, and my Stug 4 now engaging it as well. Since it's low on health and high on suppression, I'm quite happy to let the Stug commit to get the kill there. 222 meanwhile trying to get off the ridge and engage some of the infantry, but gets picked off by the armour on the right hand side. Legionaries need to move up here and help take care of whatever that is. You can see I've actually picked up the mortar in my mortier and I'm moving it up to join 2 more mortars that I've now purchased to make good use of this supply. So we've managed to take the hill, but as you can see the game is currently 17 to 15, so it's not a dramatic advantage that we get from controlling this hill. I think on the 50-50 it goes through between these flags. So we're only technically gaining 1 flag that would have otherwise been in control of the enemy at the start of the game. But we have got good positioning here. So with the Volksdeutsche on the left hand side, with the IG now wheeling itself into a position here, we're going to get good cover over this plateau. And then my Pak 40 can move up, and then we can maybe get into a position to even cover further back at the very bottom of the hill. So we are currently the king of the hill, and the plan is to try and maintain that for the rest of the game so that we can continue to put pressure onto different flags like this one and the one further up on the T-junction. But this is another flag that we've now captured, so we're going 18 to 14. But the rest of our team under a little bit of pressure, the back and forth going through this town as usual, the play across the open in the middle, and in the town the absolute grind that is usually the case is underway. We've also managed to capture this flag on the far side of the hill. See the IG here struggling a little bit to get on target. Keeps getting blocked by line of sight of these trees. But mortars now in position, bringing up some leaders as well to make sure that my Volksdeutsche are a little bit better off. Got another Aufkladder coming up with a 222 to provide 20mm fire onto the enemy support weapons like the infantry gun, like this M1 gun, and so on. Nice thing about 20mm vehicles as well, they're pretty cheap. Like this SPW is only 30 points. So I'm quite happy to have that engage an AT gun, and if it can pin it down enough that the AT gun keeps missing it, it will just get the kill nice and easy. IG-33 blasting the FFO Fusiliers on the left hand side. Marder 3 finishing off the M10 that actually just killed my Shtug 4. It's not often that I get to do a game with the 17th SS, and this is one of the reasons that I wanted to show it off today. My plan with this game in particular was to try and utilize the Nebelwerfers as much as possible, particularly the Nebelwerfer 42, because it is incredibly strong, but so far so good without it. So that's the way the game is going to continue as I reinforce with a Shtug 4 to replace the one that I lost. Meanwhile, IG-33 going to do its best to keep supporting the attack on these units, and the M1 gun being the next victim of that. Sherman, Churchill, M10. All the different types of allied armor getting wiped out here. SBW-222, I'm trying to engage the Crusader AA. Crusader AA does have a decent chance to kill the 222 with its twin 20mm HE rounds, and does manage to do so. My 222 struggling to find any significant penetration there onto that Crusader. I guess very capable of killing it, just kind of bad luck on my end. Volksdeutsche forcing back one of the MG-34s. Now engaging the sniper, but the sniper getting the better of the Volksdeutsche. That's one trouble with the dishearten trait, is that you do take extra suppression from each hit. So in this case, snipers dealing double suppression, and obviously that's not ideal. So back to 17 to 15 as we have lost this flag in the town briefly. Mortars now going to be getting involved. 222 unfortunately going down to the abundance of T-34s that have now arrived to save the day. It's a very eclectic bunch of units here. We've got French partisans, we've got the American tank destroyer, we've got the British Churchill 5, the Sherman, and now we've got Soviet T-34s backing them all up. Well, I say backing them up, they're all dead. But now the T-34s making their play towards the hill. Unfortunately, going to be counter-batteried at this point. The two new mortars that I came in really didn't do too well. The multi actually getting caught out there as well as I move it over to resupply those mortars. Really, unfortunately, caught me out. Two Volksdeutsche on the way though. Nice thing about these Volksdeutsche is they do still have Panzerfaust, which is really handy. And in this case, I maybe could have tried to charge towards them, but I realised that wasn't going to work, so I unloaded them early. It's a good chance they would just both get killed in the transports. Shtug, however, might be able to sneak forwards and get a shot onto one of them, so looking for that at the moment. IG-33 at close range could also use its heat to get shots on target. That's another possibility. The IG-33s do get this heat round that has 160mm of penetration, so it's pretty much going to be like 100% penetration against T-34-85, and it's going to one-shot them for sure. It's got 15 damage. That would even one-shot an IS-2. So on the right hand side, my teammates actually doing a really good job of securing this bridge and continuing the pressure around the side here. But we do still have to deal with all of these T-34s that have been saved up for and now brought in. Tiger has managed to get a shot onto one of them. Might try and kill one, but not quite. Smoke actually coming in from Sidalysis to stop those T-34s from being as effective. I've got another Shtug on the way. This Shtug being forced to fall back, coming under artillery fire. Got to worry a little bit about if they decide to charge up the hill, but without any infantry support, those T-34s will be sitting ducks eventually. Unfortunately, the Panzer 38 there, paying the price as it gets left behind in front of the Stug. OG-33 now going to be trying to use one of its heat rounds to kill an M3A1 half-track. And is going to be successful at close range. 2 veterancy on that bad boy. It does give it some decent accuracy and fire rate. On the left-hand side, another IG-33. This time from Ra Endymion. He's smashing the Strelki SVT there. Pack 40 joining the groups on the hill, just in case the T-34s decide to make a play. And I've also now brought up a Jagdpanzer. You can see the flags are going back and forth quite frequently as other areas of the map are continuing their skirmishes. You can see a lot of the buildings in the town there are now destroyed. In the middle, the skirmishes continue. On the left-hand side, the counter battery continues as one of my 81mm mortars goes down. But now two T-34 76 1942 is going to be coming over at quite long range and engaging my Stug 4s. T-34s, they suffer with accuracy. They've only got 40% accuracy on their main gun, and it means they miss quite a lot. And at range, they're not very reliable, especially when you're going up against high veterancy Stug 4s. Because while Stug 4s do have the 40% accuracy as well, quite often you'll bring in Stugs at like 2 or 3, or well, 2 veterancy. It would be my recommendation most of the time. Whereas with T-34s, you kind of rely more on speed and availability. I mean, Churchill 7 trying to engage us, but getting caught on the edge there. You see the gun depression is not good enough, and it does get killed off as my Stugs managed to find a pretty miraculous penetration into the front armor of that Churchill. That Churchill had 150mm of frontal armor, so the penetration chance of my Stugs there is like 10% or something. But I guess if you fire enough shots, one's going to go through eventually. Jagdpanzer now also engaging, also 3 veterancy, thanks to the commander that Sidalisis brought in at the start. And I'm now connecting using my Pioneer Führers that I brought in, and that's going to help me get these engagements going quite nicely. Churchill 4, very, very fast rate of fire compared to the Stug. This thing has 12 round per minute rate of fire, and that's before veterancy. Really, really, really strong at close range, particularly for punching up. Like these Churchill 4s, because they have APCR shells as well, which have 175mm penetration, are actually very good at taking out even things like Tigers. It will take 4 shots to kill with an APCR though, because it only has 3 damage. But in this case, the Churchill 4 at that range was using an AP shell. So the Stug 4 went down with that second penetration. Jagdpanzer are going to have to fall back. The Stug 4 damaged and fallen back for the time being. More Volksdeutsche are going to be on the way, so that I can try and push off this hill. And whilst we do have control of the hill and the majority of the flags here, we haven't really had much luck getting off the hill. So the Volksdeutsche are going to be trying to help with that by leading the charge. But big bombing strike going to be coming in from the B-26G. You can see that we don't actually have much AA on the hill right now, so the bombing strike taking full advantage of that. Lucky I didn't lose my Pack 40, to be honest. Yeah, the Volksdeutsche are now going to be engaging, but a lot of Churchills coming up. Martin's even going to move up the M15 CGMC to get involved. And now a Tu-2S coming in with bombs is going to force all of these Volksdeutsche back. Volksdeutsche are somewhat expendable. They are 25 points apiece. Disheartened infantry. So they're not like super cheap, but in a way, I think they're expendable, just like the way that they have this disheartened trait. If they get in a sticky situation, they're just going to run back to safety like they're starting to do now. And you can see the amount of investment that the enemy has placed in trying to kill 3 units of them. IL-2 though, coming in with a little bit of a bombing strike, this time onto my Aufklärer. I'm going to be taking those out. Remove some of our own recon on the edge of the hill here. The 222 still around, however, which is the main reason, once again, I bring in those Aufkläder in the first place. The Aufkläder is just kind of a spare part to the 222, generally speaking. Now, on this right-hand side, a new Churchill 7 has arrived. It's being supported by a Cromwell 7 leader, a Cromwell 4 recon, and the T-34s that are continuing to move through the light cover here. So the flag on the bridge is going to be lost, but whilst this is going on the right-hand side, our team's doing exceptionally well. Shock pushing through here with Valdis and finding a lot of ground. Now the B-26G Marauder coming in. These have multiple 450 kilogram bombs, and infantry does not like that. As the Aufkläder goes down, the Volksdeutsche reduced to 1 man, and it's time to finally bring in some AA. Endymion has brought up the 20mm AS-42s. I'm going to be bringing up an SDK Z71, so that is going to be a start. We are probably going to need more than that if we want to stop those bombers from inflicting significant damage, because ideally you want to stop the bombers from dropping their bombs in the first place, but that requires a very large amount of AA. I have now brought up the Nebelwerfer 42, the 300mm Nebelwerfer. This thing is an absolute beast and will certainly help us crack down on large groups of units, in particular units like this, the Cromwell 7 and the Cromwell 4. And also, of course, the T-34-85s here, potentially a good target if I can see where the rest of them are. So that's what I'm going to be trying to do with that. I've also got 2 Jagdpanzers on the hill now, with the Stug 4 that was there. A new SS Shchedrin coming up to try and deal with any infantry that pushes across on the left-hand side. We're maintaining our King of the Hill status so far, which is good. 80 out now, going to be having a go at a Churchill 8, or sorry, a Cromwell 8 and the T-34. T-34 actually gets taken out by the Pack 40, so nicely done there by Grim. The 88 not going to have a fun time against the Cromwell 8. Cromwell 8, really nasty tank, because it's still pretty fast with the 40 km/h off-road speed and 52 km/h on-road speed, but has 120mm of frontal armour. Anyway, my Nebelwerfer are going to be firing away now, looking for the kill onto the Cromwell, at least. Unfortunately, unable to find it, as pretty much all of the rockets ended up landing very close together, which would have been great if there was actually a target sat there, but alas, as soon as the first couple rounds landed, the majority of the units I was targeting fell back. So Pack 38's now engaging the Churchill. That Churchill's got caught out with side armor shots from the Pack 38 there. And now we've got the Stug 3G up on the hill taking shots at the Cromwell 8. Nothing that Cromwell can do about that. Now the Pack 40's engaging the Churchill 4. And all of those units now falling apart. I'm pretty sure at this point Steiner's Fusee was an AI, which is why all of the units kept stacking up there. But alas, we're still dealing with players on the left-hand side here. And 222 trying to clean up some of the extra infantry squads. Jagdpanzers have made a strong push off the edge of the hill so far. Stug 4's getting into position on the left-hand side to help out here. Got to be careful though, because the T-34 at the moment potentially going to be in a position to engage our Jagdpanzers. A couple Churchills try and crest the ridge. Absolutely demolished by the Marder 3s and the Churchill, sorry, the Elephant that has now joined us and is going to be shifting into position here on the edge of the ridge. Jagdpanzer's moving up, getting the MGs on target, looking for the kill, however, onto the T-34-76. Very unlikely the T-34-76 is going to be able to penetrate the Jagdpanzer. I think at this range it probably doesn't even have any penetration potential. I've got to get rid of the rest of this infantry though, so the 222 going to be absolutely perfect for that. Really good situation for the 222 right now, because there's no enemy armor that's going to be able to kill it, and a lot of the infantry is not armed with AT, so going really good. Jagdpanzers going to be engaging these transports that are coming up the ridge, and the F5 Saboteurs also going to get spotted now and taken out. But things really starting to come together as our team has slowly but surely found very good value in their kills. So yeah, a lot of these T-34s have now been dealt with on the right hand side. You can see all of their wrecks there. IG-33 helping deal with the Makassars. We've got plenty of AA now. You can see I have brought up 2 SDKZ-71s. Sathor's brought up 1. Sidalisis has the 88, and Ra Endymion has the 20mm. So all of our teammates really coming together in order to support ourselves with AA. So it's really nice to see. 222 now going to be engaging the Striker DP. Got to stay out of 500 meter range because, or 400 meter range, sorry, because of the PTRD. But at this range, quite happy to engage. And the Stug 4 is going to come up and back that up. Jagdpanzer is moving into a more offensive position. It's a little bit risky if there's actually armor nearby that could come up the ridge right now. They could potentially get side shot and so on. But for now, it's totally fine. A lot of the armor, as we can see, is sort of grouping up in this position. Actually a perfect target for a Nebelwerfer. So Nebelwerfer now coming up, a second one. This one currently targeting the light cover on the right hand side. Marauders though coming in with the bombing strikes. Goodbye Jagdpanzers. Absolutely obliterated as we continue the engagements here. It's always cool to see those bomber strikes. It never gets old. The American bombers with those 450 kilogram bombs are exceptionally strong. Regardless, now my artillery coming in here, the 300mm Nebelwerfer, hoping to get any significant kills, finish off what was potentially left there. Meanwhile, Elephant in a really good position to engage units that are coming around this corner. There's an absolute turkey shoot now for it, as the T-34-85 really can't do anything about it, one of them having already gone down. We're just hoping to get out of the line of sight in time, but you can see the Elephant up here, able to find it just in time. Now Churchill 4 moving up. Tiger takes the first shot, allows the Stug to get the kill. Again to take a second shot. Stug takes another kill. But the M4 actually managed to find a way through the Stug 4 once again. Honestly, in this game I feel like my Stug 4s had like paper front armor because they were kind of being penned sometimes in really weird situations. Anyway, since the blob of tanks is now dealt with, I'm actually going to be counter-battering enemy artillery with my Nebelwerfer. It was a little bit late, as you can see. We had an ally who already started hitting it with large caliber artillery, but I didn't have time to stop it, so Nebelwerfer potentially wasted there. But regardless, we're still in control of this hill. We still have all of the flags that we need. That's why I've kind of put some units across here, so that we maintain control over this flag. We've got units on this flag. I've got AA up now, plenty of AA, and more infantry on the way. Nebelwerfers moving after every volley, every salvo, I guess would be a better term. And it's something that you really should do. If you're ever going to use Nebelwerfers, always make sure to pick them up in the transport that they come with and move them. And I would always recommend bringing them in with a supply truck, because then you can just pick them up immediately, rather than having to bring in a supply truck separate every time. Almost crashing into my Nebelwerfer there. SDKZ-71, not just good against aircraft, but also against infantry. Yaks coming in though, overhead. Oh, isn't that just a beautiful view at the end? There's 29 minutes and 33 seconds pass, and we do manage to get the minor victory. So in the end, 1,445 kills to 1,600 losses. Not the best KD for me. Like a lot of my Stug 4s were dying, but you can see we did manage to make decent ground, and it is always a fun one to use the 17th SS. They are an extremely strong division, particularly due to the Nebelwerfers, which I didn't really manage to exploit too much in this game. We kind of got caught in the sort of close range Stug engagements where they had just enough penetration to get some bad luck in on me. So yeah, not ideal performance, but some of the Stugs still doing well, of course, and the Jagdpanzers helping with a breakthrough. A lot of the kills going to my teammates on that left-hand side. But yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool game. Playing over the hill on the left-hand side. Really good job by Shock on the right-hand side to eventually take pretty much full control of the town with the help of Valdis. So yeah, I thought that was a cool game. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.